you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
No matter what indoor or outdoor project is on your list, check it off at the Nebraska Builders Home and Garden Show, February 9th through the 11th at Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Visit with vendors experienced in handling all your dream projects. Spend time viewing displays and exhibits to see the latest in home innovations. Admission is $10 or bring a non-perishable item for the food bank and get a $2 discount. Children 12 and under are free. For more information, visit the Home and Garden Show online at hbal.org.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G20768.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures, all things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Your next chance to take home a game-worn Stars jersey is coming up on Friday, February 9th, when Lincoln hosts the Des Moines Buccaneers. Join us for Epilepsy Night and help us support a great cause. Proceeds from the post-game jersey auction will help support research to treat and overcome epilepsy. Purchase tickets for the Stars versus the Bucs now at lincolnstars.com or by calling 402-474-7827.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA. Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. February's cream cheese flavor is white chocolate raspberry. Pair it with a very berry chai. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
And I am all sorts of out of whack. I did not tweet the show lineup because who knows
what it's going to be.
What we'll be doing. If Jake and Jay are doing their thing out there at Radio Row in Vegas, you will not be hearing much from Strick and I.
And that's okay.
Norman. He's Erick Strickland. It is Thirsty Thursday.
Yeah.
We're living our best life here, Stricky.
Hey, listen, it's a big weekend, and so we understand if Jay and who else is out there?
Jake. Amon is out there.
I don't. Jake.
DP is on his way.
Jake
from
State Farm, right? No, man. If those guys are out there, man, they've got to be having a ball. I mean, they're running into bumping shoulders and rubbing elbows with some of the best to do it in the league, outside of the league, around the league. And it's beautiful to see, man. So shout out to them over there in Las Vegas. I'm okay with that, man. You know, let the guys talk out there. They deserve it, man. They're going to be experiencing a wonderful weekend, a big weekend. Vegas, this is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody, and people love Vegas. Let's just be honest about it. There's just, whenever there's an event going on out there, especially like big ones, UFC concerts, they just love it. I mean, it's just the place to be.
I've never been. Is Vegas like you have to go there once and then you're okay outside of events, or what is Vegas?
You want me to give you Vegas?
I need it straight.
All right. So here's the thing about Vegas. You got to go out to Vegas with a plan, unless you're a young fella and you're gonna be, because you literally will be up to the break of dawn if you just allow the flow of the evenings to go, if it's not planned, right? So I would say like this. This is the way I kind of view, or my approach to Vegas just over the years and the experience that I've had. I go on a plan. So it could be, my trip to Vegas is going to be shows. So I go focused on maybe going to see Kai, or going down to see like a Usher concert, or going to see a magic show, maybe not David Blaine, but David Copperfield.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I was about to say David Bowie, and that would have been wrong.
I'll specifically focus on shows.
Mm.
And then, obviously there's great restaurants, there's great food, there's things like that. And in the meantime, in between time, you do that. That keeps you from just wearing yourself out. Like, it's literally, for me, a 3-day, no more than 4 in and out. I can't be there any longer than that. So that's kind of my approach to that. Or
it sounds like you can have a good time without gambling.
Yes.
Because I don't have money to just splash around to try to make some of that money. So there's plenty to do without having to hit the casinos, you're saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Mm.
If you're going to gamble, go do that, because you'll literally can sit in there for hours and hours. Like, people like, we'll go out sometimes and people will literally be in there sitting at the table and they won't move. It'll be hours. So I have friends that like to gamble. That's sometimes what I'll do. I'll go do my thing. They'll go do theirs, and they'll be at the tables when I get back. So that's another part of it. Or you go and you'll do like pool stuff. They got Top Golf. They've got these little, like helicopter tours. And so you can go and be in a tour mode. Or they got sports now. So that's the other part that you can add to the repertoire. It's really go with a focus, centralized focus, or a balance of maybe one or two things, because otherwise it'll literally wear you out.
We have Eric on the Starter Heyman text line open for y'all all show, 402-464-5685. Eric says, you need to go to Vegas with the right people.
That's another part.
How key is the group?
Yeah, that is another part, because there's so many things that you can do if people are going to be mad, frustrated, or upset. Like Vegas is also a place where after the first night, you could be out throughout the day. You could be at a pool party. They got these nice pool parties where guys like Marshmello and, these guys will be DJing. It'll be, you'll hear it all on the strip, and it'll be going on. And you'll end up getting to the night and people will be in the room sleep. And you'll be like, wait a minute, I didn't come to Vegas to sleep. Like literally come in your minds, for me, in my mind's head, I'm saying I'm up for the long haul for at least 2 days, 2 nights. And I need to get out of here because I'm going to be done. Like I won't be able to move. Now, when I was younger, I could probably go 3.
Okay.
But now at my age, 2 is the most. 2 is how I can go hard, and then I got to shut it down.
And then Stricky settled down a little bit.
I got to shut it down. Yeah.
Give us your Vegas stories on the text line. What happens in Vegas does not necessarily have to stay in Vegas. If Jake and Jay have caused anything, give us your best Vegas story. That's, of course, fit to share on the air. OG Les Lancaster said, Vegas is a trick. Went out there a handful of years ago, got tickets to a Steve Aoki show that said it started at 11. Dude came on at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Woo.
Hey, but here's the other part that's funny. And I still don't understand this dynamic. So if you're listening, and Kim Kelly on the stream says this, but I'm going to give you my story in a second. But Kim Kelly says, Austin, go ahead, read it, Austin. It's for you.
I've been to Vegas numerous times, and not once have I gambled. So much to do otherwise. Strick is right. No more than 3 nights with a plan. Good to know.
Yeah. I mean, that's just veteran learning how the system works, because otherwise you'll wear yourself out. You'll be sick and tired. But here's the funny thing, the dynamic that I was going to tell you about. And if you're a listener and you've been to Vegas, I know you've seen this, but I will also say this part of it. What is it when you're walking in the street, whether it be in the daytime or the nighttime, and people are literally carrying their luggage? Like, is this because they got kicked out? They lost all their money at the casino? Or is it just that it was time to check out and they're just stuck there until it's time to leave? Because literally you'll see people on the strip walking and they'll have the funkiest looks on their faces, like, I freaking lost my tail.
Their spouses told them that was it. They're done.
Man, I'm sure relationships get broke up majorly whenever you probably go out there and spend the rent money.
This is a dynamic that I don't know if like the Raiders or the Aces or the Golden Knights or maybe the Oakland A's, once they officially move out to Vegas, are thinking about. But Strick, I would think if I'm the owner or general manager of a team in Las Vegas, I would probably want a more veteran team that I don't think is going to get caught up in the, glitz and the glamour and the street lights and all of that. Like, yeah, you need young players. They come in with the draft every year, but I'm going to be curious to watch over the next, 4 or 5 years, if the teams in Las Vegas skew more mature or if they have to start with a young infusion of talent first.
Well, let's just take, for example, what we've seen. What has happened with the young infused talent? I'm not trying to laugh at the situation or circumstance.
No, you're right.
But what has happened? Henry Ruggs, and then what was the safety's name? Help me on the Starter Heyman text line. He got released just recently. He was had a lot of gunplay, and not the rapper gunplay, but
Jonathan Abram.
Yeah, he was a first round draft. He was a first round safety, and so they lost 2 first rounders because they just weren't able. Listen, Vegas, it's not for the weak of mind. And we've talked about that. There are certain places where people go that you can't be weak of mind. And we just talked about Zach Wilson up in New York. Just sometimes the cultural shift changes of a place that you've come from to where you go, I mean, in a snap of like that, it's like you don't get time to adjust to it. It's like shock. It's like shock and awe once you arrive there. And if you've come from a small town, or you've come from, like, think about it. Henry Ruggs, where was he from? Let me look.
Ruggs went to Alabama for college.
He went to Alabama. With, you've got to, but where is he from? I can't remember. What you got, Austin?
Henry Ruggs is from Montgomery,
Alabama. Okay, I'm from Auburn. And the reason that's why I can say this is it's a shock because Montgomery is the capital city of Alabama. Montgomery is very similar to Tuscaloosa, just moderate little town, old school values. It's not much going on. You go to Tuscaloosa, you're playing in the SEC. A lot of the places you're going is very small town. Because Athens is outside of Atlanta. It's nothing like Atlanta. Athens is very Lincoln-ish, kind of, that kind of flow, but a little bit more, modern style. But Henry Ruggs comes to Vegas and it's shock and awe. I mean, it's the lights, it's the glitz, it's the glamour. What had helped me in those situations, Austin, was being a military brat. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm small town mind. That's why I like living in I like living in cities to where I can have city flow, but small enough to where I can get outside of it if I want to. That's why, people was like, Strick, why don't you, like, I've lived in LA, I've lived in New York, I've lived in,
even Orlando,
Atlanta. I mean, Orlando's very small. It's touristy big, but that was kind of the best thing about it. The anonymity, the tourist people that come, they leave. You know what I'm saying? When people want to come and hang out or kick it or whatever, they're coming with their families. So I might get to see them a little bit. Like, that's why I didn't move to Vegas, because Vegas was on my list. I moved to Vegas because everybody that came to Vegas was like, Strick, where's that? What's going on? How's it going down? Where's the spot? Tell me. Meet me on the Strip. I've been like my head twisted all around like
doing the Jake Sorensen on Radio Row.
Basically, man. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing about Vegas.
A few Vegas stories we'll get to before we go to break. We will talk some Husker hoops and plenty more here throughout the show. We'll start with 2605 says he watched a Husker season opener in the pool for a Steve Aoki show. That's pretty legit. Notorious B.I.B. says, I was there in the early 90s. All the toilets in the hotel I was at backed up.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yikes.
Oh, it had to be stanky in there. Oof. The smell of a thing.
Colgan J says, when I was younger, I would have never made it in Las Vegas. I would have made a bad decision within 72 hours of being there.
No question. I mean, listen. Just think about this, though, Austin. This is a quick question before you get to the next one. Austin, think about what NIL would have been like for Larry Johnson, Augman, and Hunt, and
Reed,
Greg Anthony.
All of them.
That whole
Stacey Reed.
Think about what it would have been like. Oh, good Lord.
Does Off the Chain even begin to describe it?
It doesn't even. They were NIL-ing it up before NIL anyway. Yeah. But just think of if it was legit. Ooh, Lord. Couldn't even imagine.
Earthquake Lou says, when I go to Vegas, I bet on a few games, maybe a few spins of roulette. Otherwise, it's eating, drinking, smoking, seeing shows, and people watching. 3 days, 4 nights is perfect.
Who was that?
Earthquake Lou.
3 days and 4. You feel me? I'm telling you, I'm in a sweet zone. With him also, do you bet on red or black? Or do you have a special number? What do you do? Now, look, if you hit on the number, ooh, it's a big payday. If you got some chippies on that thing, if you hit the number. But what do? Do you bet on the 0, the 00, the black? What you got?
Black 13.
Black 13. Okay.
I think that's a classic.
Lou, that's supposed to be the unlucky number. Why is it that they don't have 13 on elevators?
Because it's unlucky. Yeah. No 13th
floor.
floors.
13th floor. They're like, nobody wants to stay on
skipping it.
You know why I would skip it, Austin? Let me tell you why.
Why?
There's one movie, and I don't want to hear no Friday the 13th. Ever since I watched that movie, I don't deal with nothing on 13. No.
Understandable. Sten says, locked out of my room at the Luxor with nothing but my skivvies on. Customer service didn't believe I had a room, couldn't get a hold of anyone in my travel party because of the hour. Had to chill in the lobby for a couple hours to get everything worked out. I was 21 and wasted my trip by going too hard on the plane ride to Vegas.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, no, Sten.
Sitting out there with your drawers. That's crazy. Oh, man, that had to be the worst. But did you get a drink or two while you were sitting out there? Why not?
I think it sounds like he had too many, so he was trying to chill a little bit.
That's hilarious.
You have Tommy saying, I was born on Friday the 13th.
Oh,
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy, that's yeah, I don't think I want to meet you in the back alley. It invokes
no black
Jason
cats,
Voorhees.
no ladders, no salt shakers, no mirrors, no nothing.
No ladder. Did you say ladders?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
None of those.
I don't want none of that.
Tommy does say he's been beyond lucky, though. So, Tommy, you'll have to explain in the text. A few more Vegas things to get to. First time to Vegas, day 3. Passed out going up an escalator at the MGM, but I didn't spill my drink. Respect.
Wow! Major respect. That's like, that's one of the funniest things. Like when people get pushed into the pool and they got their drink in hand, somehow, some way, they preserve the drink. Wet from head up to wrist, but the drink is good to go. That's
Still
hilarious.
Our guy John in Cortland said, back in the day when my friend from Omaha went to Vegas and there was water in Lake Mead, they gambled, but I fished for 3 days. Respect, John.
Okay.
Respect.
Chill.
And then Crowbait says, no intentions on ever going to Vegas. I've never been interested and also don't think I'd remember any of it. Fair enough.
Understandable.
Last one then. Noah from Lincoln says, Vegas is fun. Shows are awesome. The slappers on the street are annoying.
Slappers? What's that?
I have no idea.
Yeah, break that down. Help me. Is it slappers? Is that the people that be wearing the outfits and the Superman costumes and the Batman costumes, or what is that? And, everybody is asking you for something. They want the business. And it's just figuring out whether or not the business is the business or it's the shade tree business. That's the part that be scaring me. That's why I don't do street business.
Fair enough. OG Les Lancaster sends us to break by saying he met John
Snoop
Elway.
Dogg likes it.
He does.
There's a reason why.
Right. OG Les Lancaster had the Chris Raff dream. He met John Elway in Las Vegas.
Dope.
Let's go to break really quickly. We'll see if Jake and Jay have anyone from Vegas. If they don't, we'll have a short breakdown of Nebraska Northwestern. If you missed our thoughts on postgame, we'll direct you that way. We'll jump off with a couple talking points from that game when we get back.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Why are New Year's resolutions always about getting to the gym more or dieting? We fail ourselves before the first month of the year is already over. Why not resolve to eat better, tastier foods in 2024? Look no further than Fuhrer's Cheese Spread. Stop eating your apples, vegetables, crackers, and chips plain. Give them some flavor. Fuhrer's Cheese Spread awakens your taste buds. Now that's how you start a new year. Find your container of Fuhrer's Cheese Spread today at your local grocery store.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Husker fans, it's your last chance to catch your top-ranked Nebraska wrestling team in action at the Bob Devaney Sports Center as they host a top 15 conference matchup on Friday, February 9th against number 13 Michigan. It's their annual Pepsi Pack the House duel, and all tickets and 24-ounce Pepsi products are just $1. The duel starts at 6 p.m. Get your tickets today by visiting huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. If you have any fit to read on the air Vegas stories, again, drop them either in the comments or on the text line 402-464-5685, sponsored by Starter Heyman, as are video streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Also want to shout out Allo for sponsoring our VIP line. No guests this week with the guys out in Vegas, but Allo also has channel 961 all across the state of Nebraska. So if you're at home listening to the radio, feel free to pop on your TV if you're an Allo subscriber and take a look at Strick's pretty face and my radio face.
Hey.
So let's dive into Nebraska Northwestern at least a little bit. You and I were both on postgame with Bach last night, Strick, and with a little more time to digest the game, how it played out, what went down. Where I land with that game, an 80-68 loss for Nebraska on the road at Northwestern, is I'm bummed by the result. But it's hard to be disappointed because it's kind of what the norm has been, right? Maybe a twinge of disappointment given how they played at Illinois. So it's not a good result, but it's like, whatever, same old road Huskers.
Yeah, that's the way I feel too. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't nullify the fact that this is still a good team. They just, and listen, if you would have listened to the post-game show last night, Austin, let me ask you, just as my friend. Mm-hmm. And partner, how would you take the way that I spoke about the game and the Huskers? Would you say that I'm biased?
I would say that we can tell your heart for the team, like you're one of them. You want more for them. So I know that you have that deep down, but I also know you're going to be fair in your analysis. You're not going to cut corners and either give them too much slack or be unfair to them.
There you go. And that's how it is. This is a good team.
Mm-hmm.
They just have not learned how to apply that aspect of who they are becoming on the road yet. Mm-hmm. And I'll say it again because I know you've heard me say it, but in order for it to be ingrained and to be understood, sometimes, like for me, to know somebody or to get to know somebody, I have to hear your name multiple times.
Mhm.
Like if I come across you and you introduce yourself to me, if I just hear the name once, there's so many things that, to process about this introduction and the conversation that I may forget your name. I need to hear it 2 or 3 times. So in life, in sports, in building something, it requires some form of repetition to learn, to grow, to assess. Even the greatest of computers fail. If you're old enough to have watched this movie called War Games, it's with Matthew Broderick, and in War Games, it was a computer that was learning how to win a fight that's unwinnable. And so it was a computer that basically nuclear wars, simulations were being simulated as to how can America, if put in it, how can it win? And this system called the Whopper would formulate all these. But in it was a backdoor system that was trying, that the owner built into it. That's what basketball is like. It meaning that it's a system of continuously, even though you lose, even though it's lost different battles, and it's not figuring out how to do it. And it's part of the repetition as to how it grows and how it learns. Ultimately, to come to conclusion at the end of it, that the only way you can learn this thing is to continuously grow out of the losses, right? You don't just come into a system that's new, like Nebraska's, learning curves that are needed, coaches, staff, trying to impart a winning mindset and tradition into a program that hasn't had it for however long, right? So what he's got to do is he's got to take his lumps. He's got to continue to, but this is where guys like Bryce need to learn lessons. And I'm talking about not doing the same stuff, the one-handed passes that are consistently in crucial moments getting turned over because you're lackadaisical. And guess what? Scouting reports pick up on that, bro. Like
Northwestern had it the first time these two teams played.
Okay, don't do it early. Don't do it early. Do it. There's going to be a time for you. And they're teaching their players. I guarantee you they're teaching their players this. Don't do it early. But when it's time, and you've seen them run these systems, and you can pick up on which system they're running, you know what they're going to do at a certain time, wait till Bryce gets the ball. He's going to use one hand. This is when you jump. And that's really all they did. And it was so crucial that they were making a run to take it into single digits and start getting back, that they were able to score, I think, 2 buckets off of 2 mistakes that Nebraska made, and that was one of them. That led the run to push it back into mid-double digits, like 15, I think, or 16. So, yeah.
It's the same stuff you've been saying all year, which is also frustrating that they haven't learned. And at some point, some people are going to blame the coaches, find a way to get the message through. But I'm on the players, right? This is a veteran team that's played a lot of college basketball. Like, take a little pride, right? Learn from your own mistakes. Couple questions from the text line for you here, Strick. Fred asks, how much was last night's game caused by dead legs due to back-to-back overtime games and short turnarounds between the 3 games? Seemed like they were a step slow.
They did. They were a step slow, and that can happen. It can, but here's the thing. This is why the mindset is important. Winning mindset and knowing what you have to do and the things that you need to do on the road to win is important. Because Northwestern too had went into 2 overtime games. So you're on the same footing, right? They played just as tough. Matter of fact, the number 1 team, one of them they played in one of them, and then they had another overtime game in which, I think they won one of them and lost one.
Yeah, lost to Purdue.
Right? And so, but the benefit that they have is what? They're playing at home.
Whereas Nebraska jumped on a plane after the Illinois game to get back to Lincoln, then another plane to go back to Evanston.
Yeah. So it can be that. And that's where the mentality part of it has to, you have to overcome.
OG Les Lancaster asks this question, and it gets to something you and I talked about a little bit, but I want you to expand on this because I think this is your biggest point of the night from our discussions. Should Nebraska have started pressing sooner? Maybe not the full game, but mix it in sooner. Northwestern looked lost when Nebraska threw the press on. The press is one thing, Strick, but the effort over the last 5 minutes was not the same as the effort over the previous 35.
That's the thing. That's the thing to me. Even coming out of the, like, okay. You're down. You're not down as bad as you probably should have been in that game. Good. So you take that into account. So when you come out of halftime, you must win the first 5 minutes, first 8 minutes minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That gets you back in the striking range. They're going to make a run, and that's fine. You just don't have an overextended, maybe a 6-0 run you're okay with.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want a 10-0, 11-0 run. You don't want those. In the middle of that, cool. But when you get in striking range, now you've got to go on the attack, meaning you need good shots, no missed opportunities, and you must secure stops. Because if they're getting 50 minute of possession time because, you are not rebounding, then that's going to hurt you because it plays on the psyche over time. Like 1, the first time, maybe not, but 2 and 3, you start looking at each other and you start and guess what they don't have? What did we talk about last time?
They don't have a lot of identity. Not that thing they can rely on that guy they can go to make a big play.
That person who can go grab somebody by the chest and say, bro, 5, I need everybody in the paint. Like, dude, if you're caught outside the paint, you're hurting us. Like, as a leader, I should be able to go to you and say, bro, you was outside the paint. I had to go cover for you. I need you. Everybody need to get in the paint and mean that. You need somebody to be able to, step on the team. They don't have that. There's no way. You're not going to get it from Bryce. Juwan looks around, gets upset. He just goes and does it. Rink says not 2 peeps. Casey is,
energetic but small.
Nothing there. There's no one on the team. Alec gets you nothing. No damn. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave it on. But that's what I'm saying. That part, all of those things are issues for me as far as how you. So yes, it can hinder you, but in it, you've got to overcome it, and you overcome it here. And when you have those moments, so you have to win those first 8 minutes, and then you have to win the last 8 minutes. That's how you end up coming back and winning a game on the road.
A couple other things to get here too. The first thing is we mentioned the new starting lineup last night. I think it bears repeating for people who either missed the game or missed the post-game show last night. The starting lineup for Nebraska was not the one we've seen since the Michigan State game. That would be Lawrence, Williams, Tominaga, Gary, and Mast. Instead, Juwan Gary returns to the starting lineup, but it moves Jamarcus Lawrence out of the starting lineup. So the lineup was Bryce Williams, Keisei Tominaga, Juwan Gary, Rink Mast, and Josiah Alec. Alec in 16 minutes, no rebounds. That's a
horrible.
problem.
That's a major problem. At that point, I'm going with who.
No rebounds and no points.
I'm going with y'all. I'm like,
who got some run?
I'm going. Like, at this point, bro, you not giving me nothing. This next game, Jock, let me see what you got. I mean, bro, I've got to one thing I can tell you I know from Joel. He may, in some instances, be out of position, but he's going to challenge shots at the rim. He's going to run and try to get in position. He's going to attack the offensive glass. And you won't get killed on rebounds. I know he rebounds because he's athletic and super athletic.
And he gives effort. I'm not saying Josiah Alec doesn't give effort, but if Matar Diop is going to make a mistake, he's going to make it going fast.
Hard, doing something, trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe he doesn't understand the nuances of, because that read, react, respond offense, it's tough for a young player. You got to remember how raw he is. I mean, he's
just
really
Golden State too.
Yeah. He's recently just started playing ball. So, the athleticism and all that stuff is good. So here's the thing that I saw last night. If I'm Coach Hoiberg, I'm telling Josiah Alec, do not dribble. Like, if you dribble, if you're not going to lay up, you do not put the ball. Like, if you're dribble just to try to create something, you coming on the bench. Like, I'm at the point where I'm putting limitations and restrictions on him right now. Like, if you don't get this amount of rebounds, you're coming to sit down with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting stuff on him to make him held accountable at this point. There's certain people that I would do this with also at this point. And I think we might got, the guys out there. You might hear something.
We don't have the guys quite yet. We should probably take a break as we're getting close to the top of the hour. A couple more things I want to hit on with Nebraska Northwestern at some point throughout the show with you. But we have Super Bowl squares to give away. 2 squares up for grabs when we get back from break. We'll have a couple trivia questions for you, so stay tuned. Get your texting thumbs and fingers ready for 402-464-5685. 2 Super Bowl squares getting given away when we get back.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
You can get diesel anywhere, but what about Atomic Diesel? That comes from Stern. Atomic Diesel is your solution to all your cold weather problems. Prevent clogged fuel filters, increase your fuel economy, and save money with Atomic Diesel. Contact Roger at Stern today by calling 1-800-477-2744 to see how Atomic Diesel and the rest of their line of fuels and lubricants can keep your operation running at max capacity. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
The sport of baseball became segregated in 1889. In 1947, Jackie Robinson broke the major league color barrier when he joined the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Certainly baseball has grown considerably, and we're quite proud of the role that we played in it.
Every year on April 15th, all MLB teams celebrate Jackie Robinson Day to honor this civil rights pioneer. We salute Jackie Robinson during Black History Month.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Erick Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
So we are not playing the game. Sorry, we are giving Super Bowl squares away, but I left the open in there to remind you that we're having our Super Bowl party on Sunday out at Buffalo Wings and Rings. 2 Lincoln locations, 40th and Old Cheney, but we will be at the location on 68th and O Streets. Game is, 5:30, 6 o'clock kickoff, something like that. So we'll be out there in advance of that for a couple hours. We might have some more Super Bowl squares to give away. So make sure you get down there well before the big game if you want your chance to get your name on our little bingo card here to get your name in the running for some prizes. So again, 68th and O Street for Buffalo Wings and Rings. We are giving away 2 Super Bowl squares right now. First respondents in with correct answers on the text line will get their square. First question is this. Which conference owns the longest Super Bowl NFL win streak? Which conference owns the longest Super Bowl win streak? You got 2 answers here. It's a head flip. It's either the AFC or the NFC. I'll give you that much. Scott from Bancroft, you are in with the correct answer. It is the NFC. Okay. Give the responses a second to stop trickling in. So Scott from Bancroft, you are in with a Super Bowl square. Congratulations on that. And Jesse, I'm just going to give you one right here. I'm not even going to have to ask the second question because Jesse, you jumped ahead. The second question was going to be, how many consecutive Super Bowls did that conference, did the NFC win? The answer was 13 from 1985 through 1998, or the 84 through 97 seasons. The NFC won 13 straight Super Bowls. So Scott in Bancroft and Jesse, you both are down for Super Bowl squares. Again, got to be at Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68th and O in order to grab your prizes. Couple things to get to here before the top of the hour and to break, Strick. Back on Nebraska Northwestern. Yeah. I understand that Nebraska has struggled in the rebounding department. And I'm not just criticizing this decision because Josiah Alex grabbed 0 rebounds, but I've said all year, you can attest to this, Nebraska doesn't have to be a great rebounding team. It just has to be a good enough rebounding team. Nebraska was not good enough in rebounding last night, but it also didn't shoot well enough. So to take a credible three-point shooter in Jamarcus Lawrence, the guy who's probably got the most pop out of the pick and roll, to turn the corner and break guys down, to take him out of the lineup in a game that you need more on the perimeter than you do on the interior, results aside, I don't love the process of that decision-making from the coaching staff.
Why? Like, what's your thought beside it? I mean, like, I understand. I absolutely understand your thoughts, but what was the process that you probably didn't like?
The process that I didn't like is you took away one of your relative strengths, something that you tend to rely on. In Nebraska's biggest wins, it's shot the ball well from 3.
His energy was phenomenal. His energy is the thing that sparked.
Jamarcus's
energy is the thing that sparked. So the thing for me is, they didn't get off to a bad start. Kind of did. 5-0, it wasn't crazy. They just kind of hung in there for a little bit. But it was just the energy for me was. So my thing is, if you got guys that are not locking and trailing, it was a lot of just, hey, no, stay with the guy. Because that space that was created by not locking and trailing on following guys around screens was creating so much space that it was leaving pockets. It was leaving drop pockets. This is how they was getting. It was leaving shooting pockets. It was leaving floater pockets. It was leaving all, because it left your defensive partner, which you don't want to ever do in a, kind of in that
in no man's land.
No man there. That's the word I'm looking for. It leaves them in no man's land. And so then the shot goes, and guess what? If you don't have the second guy, if you're not on a string, you don't have that other guy coming over and putting a body on your man, and you double team, and then you have the top guy, a Casey or somebody standing there looking, and don't come down and put a body on your guy, then guess what? Offensive rebound. It has to move on a string. That's something that in my day that made us very good. It wasn't a thing for me to go and put a body and help Bruce out. If Bruce going to help I'm going to go help him. I'm going to help out, put a body on. If it's big country, it don't matter. Whoever it is. Scott Pollard, I don't care. 7-footer, doesn't matter. I'm going to put a body on him until Bruce can either help me, or I'm going to put enough on him so that I know and trust that my other guy is going to come down and take my guy. And they didn't do that. And that's why it left them so many opportunities of getting extra possessions and offensive rebounds.
Well, that's why it's help defense, right? It's not selfish defense, right?
Yeah.
It's right there in the name. I lost my other thoughts. So what we're going to do to wrap up the hour, I want to go back to what you got.
Here's the other part. Like, if guys are being, this is where I think Coach Hoiberg probably can, if you're not giving me effort, like, I can't, if we're not shooting lights out, or you're not shooting you're not helping me. You're hurting me. If you're not giving me the effort I need, even, Adam or Coach Lesnar, any of those guys, they need They need to identify this and help. If you're not giving me the effort that I need, I'm going to get somebody in there that can that's going to do it, because it's not going to help me. This is how these runs happen.
Mm-hmm.
These runs happen because of the effort. You know what I'm saying? If you're tired, I get it, but I got to get somebody in there that ain't. Like the effort that Jeffrey came just coming off. I need that. Like, okay, I may not be able to use your scoring, but good gosh, that effort.
That length, athleticism.
Yeah, you got the jump ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's stuff like that, man.
80-68 Northwestern beats Nebraska. I want to wrap up hour one of the show with this. So Tommy texted in about, here's the one that was born on Friday the 13th. Said he's been beyond lucky. And Tommy sent us an article saying he was in the Army when he was deployed to Iraq. He should have been killed at least 4 times. If 1 or 2 things had been different, like standing an inch in a different spot, he wouldn't be here right now. Most of his luck has been a lot of the right place, right time. What a ride, Tommy. First of all, thank you for your service. Thank you for all you did. Glad you made it back. But thanks for listening to the show, right? Like, you've seen with your own eyes, how close, a call you've had, 4 times, you said. And you're choosing to spend your life listening to our show. Like, wow, man, that means a lot. Thanks for taking time out of your day and putting stuff in perspective for us. So we'll go to break. When we get back, we will maybe hear from Jake and Jay at some point in hour 2. If not, we will go through some Super Bowl headlines. Again, Jay Foreman, Jake Sorensen out in Las Vegas on Radio Row. We'll give our most important players for the Super Bowl, both Chiefs and 49ers. We'll talk about Kobe Bryant getting his statue unveiled today. All that and more in hour 2 of On the Block next.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Ever feel judged at the gym?
You don't know how to use the leg curl machine? Are you serious? Is this your first day alive? No, it's okay. I love helping people during their first day on Earth.
At Planet Fitness, get energy without the judgment and join the judgment-free zone. Never intimidating, always free fitness training and equipment for every workout. Get energized today during the Big Fitness Energy Sale for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, February 16th. See Home Club for details.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting increasing cloud cover throughout the day. It will be breezy too. We'll see a high around 57. Tonight, partly cloudy skies expected with a low around 31. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies for most of the day. A slight chance of rain late with the high around 49. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Stop asking your friends if they're hosting a party this Sunday and come for the real party instead. Join 93.7 The Ticket for the big game at Wings and Rings at 68th and O this Sunday and walk away with great prizes just for showing up. Why worry about making a great spread of food for the game at your house when you can enjoy all the great wings and more at Wings and Rings? It's the big game party with 93.7 The Ticket at Wings and Rings this Sunday at 68th and O.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome back to On the Block. He's Strick here in Austin, Oregon. It is Thirsty Thursday, but there will be no Thirsty Thursday today. A lot going on. The guys, the fellas, Jake and Jay, the J&J crew are out there with DP as well. Is making his way out there to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. And they are there at Allegiant
Can I cut
Stadium.
in and just look at the bike handles?
I saw that.
On that dude.
Yeah, it was like
smokes.
lowrider style, right? Listen, what's going on, man, is legacies are on the line. Legacies are on the line. Legacies that can be created and made. Those individuals who had been at the bottom of the barrel for some years, but have been one of the best at doing it. Guys that like Debo and, Kittle and those guys who have been knocking at the door and had not yet broke through. Mr. Irrelevant. So legacies that could be created. It's a star-studded lineup for the 49ers against a hodgepodge of individuals along with greatness and Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and young stars like Pacheco that are, emerging and trying to create their legacy as well. But Mahomes is on the verge of doing something that, matching the GOAT and having in 6 years 3 championships and on the same trajectory of heading into that GOAT discussion and where it places him. So there's a lot on the line. And then all of the Swifties and so forth, all that stuff that outside the line stuff going on as well. But here's the thing that I want to ask you, Austin. I want to ask our listeners as well, 402-464-5685. Who are the 3 most important players for the Super Bowl?
I will start my answer off by asking you a question. Is Isaiah Pacheco one of your top 3 most important players? I know he's your boy.
So. I think so. I would say Pacheco is, and the reason I would say it is because it would take a lot of pressure off of Mahomes. There's going to be a high level of focus on Kelsey. Is the receiving core able to, make things happen? I think Pacheco, with his energy, his burst, his abilities out of the backfield, similar to what Tom Brady used to have with White and, with some of his running with Burkhead and, with some of his running backs and the things that they were able to do out of the backfield, it just alleviated a lot of pressure because a lot of the focus was on guess who at that time? Gronk.
Right.
So it seems eerily similar in some ways of what the focal points are going to be and what they're going to try to stop. And listen, Gronk is phenomenal and was still tough to beat. Kelsey's going to be the same one. It's going to be tough to stop. But those running backs for Tom Brady were so good at helping him. And then obviously Julian Edelman was someone that emerged and was part of that group as well. Who's going to be that for the Kansas City Chiefs? We still don't know. And I'm hoping that if that's going to be the case, it would be Pacheco.
I love what you're on to there. A couple guys that don't make my top 3 because I think they're little bigger names potentially. I'm not going to say, Kelsey and Kittle. We know those guys are X factors. We know how important they are to their team's success. I'm not going to say McCaffrey. On the flip side for San Francisco, we get
80-some yards
deal
per game as of late in the win. So that's huge. Okay.
It's a big deal. I'm not going to say Mahomes and Purdy. We know whichever quarterback plays better has a better chance of winning. I'm going to go a little under the radar. My gut initially went to Valdez-Scantling and Rashee Rice. Who's going to step up in the big moments and be wide receiver 1 for Kansas City?
Who's more expected at this point? Who
Rice.
Would you expect? I would say Rice too. Okay.
Eli Rice, Rashee Rice, Jerry Rice, throw them all out there for Kansas City. So those guys, I guess, would be my 2 honorable mentions. I'm going to start with 2 guys on Kansas City and then 1 for San Francisco. Chris Jones, right? We know he's a big name. We know he's a star.
He's a wrecker.
He sure is, but really only when he wants to be. Yeah. There was a stat before the AFC Championship game about just how average Chris Jones had been all season long in the first 3 quarters of games. In the fourth quarter, he turned up. He was there for it. He stepped up in the big moments. Maybe he was pulling a, Draymond Green, right? Be a 16-game player instead of an 82-game player, as you'd say in the NBA. But with San Francisco being favored, with their depth of talent, Kansas City can't afford to wait around. We know this is a team that can come back and has done it against these Niners in the Super Bowl before, just 4 years ago. But Strick, I'm not nearly as confident in this version of the Chiefs coming back. So the defense has to set the tone. And the best player on that defense is Chris Jones. He has to be a game-wrecking force from the opening snap for Kansas City, in my opinion.
Okay. I like that. For me, if I go to the other side, I think it's got to be, for me, my honorable mention is going to be Kittle because he's been there, but he hasn't had that breakout.
Not the Gronk or Kelsey game in the Super Bowl.
And I think he's capable. I don't think the matchup, if they would have had the Honey Badger or somebody like that at the safety position, I think the matchup is favorable for him in this game. I don't know if they have anybody to really, and he's so under the radar that I don't think you're scheming for him, between in the middle of the field. I don't think you're scheming for him. I think you're scheming for Debo.
Yep.
I think you're monitoring Ayuk. And you're definitely all eyes Tupac style on McCaffrey. So I think obviously Purdy staying healthy. And I think George Kittle is somebody for me that could be huge on that side of things.
My other guy for the Chiefs, before I give a couple 49ers guys, is Jawan Taylor. It was Colgan J who pointed this out here. So the tackles for Kansas City and penalties will be a key factor. Jawan Taylor is the right tackle. They snatched him away from Jacksonville. Chick, he's the one that was penalized for all the false starts with the kick step and the lining up behind the line. So he's got to get that figured out. And the entire offensive line has to be good for Kansas City. The Super Bowl that the Chiefs lost to the Bucs, Strick, what happened? Mahomes was running for his life. He scrambled for the most yards before throwing passes of anybody in Super Bowl history. Running for his absolute life. Still made some incredible passes that got dropped. Still put up, okay stats for only scoring 9 points in the game. But the offensive line for Kansas City, I think, has to be good against a still really solid, really salty San Francisco defensive line. Nick Bosa is going to be coming. Armstrong is going to be coming for San Francisco. Not maybe as good or as deep as it has been the last few years, but you still have that name brand of San Francisco. You expect a nasty defensive line.
Yeah.
So I think the offensive line, specifically Jawan Taylor, has to hold up for the Chiefs to have some success.
Yeah. Do you need, for on the defensive side of things, you need Bosa to just have one of those type of games? Is it going to be a lot of chipping? Is it going to be, what are you hoping if you're the 49ers to get out of that defensive line to pretty much help you?
You're hoping for a couple sacks, but if nothing else, just get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't always help, right? We know how good Patrick Mahomes is and can be extending plays outside the pocket.
Is it Chase Young?
Chase Young never heard anything.
Because
Randy
those
Gregory.
Those extended plays is where they've thrived, and the speed and the line, their rush discipline is going to be important in this game. And so also keeping the Chiefs behind the chains. Would you agree? To allow those guys, the Young and the Armsteads, he's questionable for this game, but the Bosas to be, I hate when they put guys like Kittle. Those guys they're questionable for the game, but those guys are gonna freaking play.
You're not sitting out the Super Bowl.
Is that a strategy to really he's really huge he's really big to this week on our game plan strategy? Do we put him as questionable so that they're, what I'm saying? I wonder if strategies like that are happening.
I'm sure they are, but I also think NFL coaches are smart enough to know that it's the Super Bowl and smart enough to have 2 game plans. And I think the players should be smart enough to handle it because these are 2 teams that have been there before. Kansas City, year after year, really, and San Francisco, 4 years ago. Before I give a couple players for the 49ers, 3581 says, I won a square today. I was on your Facebook and website. Can't see anything about the squares and how this works. Here is how the squares work. If you've won, you're in, your name is entered on this handy dandy grid that we have. If you're on stream, I'm holding it up now. I think all the names are too small, so you can't read them. Here's what the grid looks like. The way it works is at the end of each quarter, whatever, you have it's a 10 by 10. So 0 through 9 on each team. So whatever number the Chiefs score ends with, and whatever number the 49ers score ends with at the end of the first, second, third, fourth quarters, that person who has the corresponding square that matches up, with each team, the final number of each team's score, wins the prize. We do it for other prize drawings as well.
Question is, do they have to be there to win the prize?
I believe so. That's how it was last year.
It was like that last year.
Someone is saying they heard that you don't have to be there. I would plan to be at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O on Sunday to make sure you get your prize if you are entered for Super Bowl square.
Or show up. That's risky. I think if you're not there, it's risky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying you probably want to be there. I mean, I would show up.
It's a party. Just be
I would
there.
show
Come
up
join us.
at least before the game ends if you're not. So at least, because they can't really give your quarter away because that's your number, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not there by the end of the game to pick it up or to get it or to show up at any form, I would virtually say there probably may look at some giveaway on the next shows or the next day. So,
we'll take it home.
I would plan. Just
Something.
don't know. I would plan to at least be there to pick up a prize if you happen to win.
It's pretty simple. We do want you there to join us as part of this party. Again, 68th and O location for Buffalo Wings and Rings.
I guess Notorious B. We'll confirm because he Notorious B.I.B. said DP said you don't have to be there. I mean, we'll reach out to him and we'll find out. And worst case scenario, maybe we'll have an answer for you tomorrow. So tune in.
We will just make sure. Texter 1000 says, well, some people have to work. Hey, guess what? We're those people too. So we're trying to make this as fair as possible for everybody. We'll make sure that we get this sorted out before Sunday. We'll get an answer from DP and make sure that Speaking of Super Bowl squares, we will give a couple more away at 3:45. So stay tuned for that. 2 players for San Francisco for me. First one is Charvarius Ward, cornerback for the 49ers, played with the Chiefs previously. Maybe some, residual institutional knowledge of what Kansas City has going on. But Strick, we've talked all year about Kansas City's receivers, how they're letting Patrick Mahomes down. The drop rate isn't good. There's not a Tyreek Hill. There's not even a Juju Smith-Schuster on the roster. Which brings me back to Charvarius Ward. He was, I don't say running his mouth necessarily, but I think Patrick Mahomes and this receiving core are going to use him saying, yeah, I've been both places and things are so much better here in San Francisco as motivation. If you're going to say that, you can't get torched. Kansas City has like 1.5 functional wide receivers in Rice and Valdez-Scantling in clutch time. Don't get torched, right? Don't be the reason Rashee Rice has a great Super Bowl debut, right? This is a good chance for him to back up that quote saying things were so much better in San Francisco than in Kansas City. And on the offensive side for San Francisco, Juwan Jennings, really an afterthought for that offense. You had that leaping one-handed catch on 3rd down against the Lions. Brock Purdy likes looking his way over the middle of the field in that short intermediate area on 3rd down. We know that's the money down. We know that Kansas City is going to put San Francisco in some tricky situations for 3rd and longs. I wouldn't be shocked to see Brock Purdy, obviously, start with your Debo, your Kittle, your Ayuk reads. But Juwan Jennings a dangerous, 4th or 5th option to have out there. He just always seems to be in the right spot at the right time. So those are 2 of the under the radar most important guys for San Francisco for me.
Okay. All right. Well, shoot, that sounds like a winner. I mean, hopefully it is a winner. I'm sure that the 49ers would love to get back. I mean, they're a blue blood program that not program, but organization,
organization.
Yeah, they would love to get back into that win column. As far as championship pedigree that they've had over the years, it's been a while for them too. I mean, how long has it been for San Francisco?
They have not won a Super Bowl in my lifetime.
Yeah,
been since '96, I want to say.
And you're in your early 20s.
I am 25, going on 26. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, I mean,
been a minute.
Kansas City has been there. They've done that. A lot of those guys probably weren't on the championship teams, but the organization as a whole has done so. Is there a reason to bring back Bieniemy at this point, being that now he's been gone and they're still having success? I mean, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation after leaving the Commanders that maybe a return for him. Is that something that you look at?
Matt Nagy just doesn't move the needle for me. I just don't think he's that good. So if there's any chance you could bring Eric Bieniemy back, I don't see why you don't at least ask, right? If he doesn't want to come back, says, nah, I did that, someone else will hire me, I'm confident in my resume. Okay, fine, you can at least say that you asked. But if I'm the Chiefs, if I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm working to get Eric Bieniemy back in that building. I'm calling him, every couple hours. I'm calling him at least every day saying, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, come back. Hey, we miss you. I'm not saying he is, absolutely the key, the make or break reason that Kansas City's offense struggled this year more than others. Mm-hmm. But I think his creativity, his ability to challenge Patrick Mahomes and keep him accountable, those are two big traits that he has. I'm not saying Matt Nagy doesn't have them. I just think that Bieniemy being there as Mahomes was working his way up means something. It has to mean something. So I think Eric Bieniemy is better than Matt Nagy. If you can bring him back, if you're Kansas City, you got to at least ask the guy.
Let me ask this last question before we take a break here on the block. We thank you guys for tuning in as well as lighting up the text line 402-464-5685. There's been some questions out here. Augie throws out, talking about Warner, Ayuk, Avery, Thomas, and
Greenlaw
and Greenlaw, Sneed and Butker for KC, Rice as well. But listen, that's one of the things I wanted to throw out. Where's your tack? And there's a show that used to be out, and I used to watch it all the time. It was like, it goes like this. It goes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Where are the weakest links on the 49 on each area, whether it be the offense for the you already talked about the Kansas City offense where that's the tackles. Where on the offense for the 49ers and where on the defense for both? Where are they gonna look to attack?
The weak spot of the 49ers offense would be a Jay Foreman question. I haven't dug as much into that. I think I'm just kind of relying on Kyle Shanahan's reputation as well of scheming a lot of weaknesses out. If there is going to be a weakness, Purdy's not the biggest guy. I think if the Chiefs can use their length, their wingspan, their height to get in his passing lanes, he's had some passes knocked down. You saw Detroit affect in that way. Pressure affects every quarterback, so that's always going to be a weakness. But I think if Kansas City can anticipate passing lanes and get a hand in the way, hand in the vision, get up in his face a little bit, I think he's going to struggle there. Both teams, Strick, surprisingly soft against the run. You saw what Green Bay did to San Francisco in their playoff game there, what Detroit was able to do in the first half. And even for Kansas City, Buffalo abandoned the run, and so did Baltimore, where you saw Kansas City was susceptible throughout the regular season to the running game. So I think both cornerbacks are good. I think both defensive coordinators are good at bringing pass rush in various ways, whether it's 3-man, 4-man, various combinations of blitzes, cornerbacks, linebackers, you name it. But I don't think these are the stoutest teams against the run, which is where I go back to your answer of Pacheco and the role that McCaffrey's been on as, big game deciding factors potentially.
There it is. And that question goes out to you guys as well. Where is the weakest link? Because whoever exposes, I think, the weakest links, they're going to go bye-bye. So there it is. We're going to take a bye-bye break real quick. We'll come back and finish things up here. A couple more segments to go on the block. You never know what's going to happen out there in Vegas with the guys. looking to jump in at any point in time. Somebody comes by, sits down with them. Stay tuned to see who it is and if it happens. And if not, we're going to come back, maybe talk some NBA stuff on the trades that were made here at 93.7 The Ticket on the Block. We'll be right back.
Wilbur Claytonia School District says, let's protect students and kids by driving with caution and without your cell phone. Reduce your speed while traveling through school zones and stop while youngsters board on and off school buses. Spare a family the pain and grief of a horrible accident. Wilbur Claytonia School District cares about our kids. Wilbur Claytonia School District works tirelessly year-round for student safety. Call 402-821-2266 or visit them online at wilbur-claytonia.org. Wilbur Claytonia School District, wishing our children a safe and successful school year. Why are New Year's resolutions always about getting to the gym more or dieting? We fail ourselves before the first month of the year is already over. Why not resolve to eat better, tastier foods in 2024? Look no further than Fuhrer's cheese spread. Stop eating your apples, vegetables, crackers, and chips plain. Give them some flavor. Fuhrer's cheese spread awakens your taste buds. Now that's how you start a new year. Find your container of Fuhrer's cheese spread today at your local grocery store. Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com. where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. The best way to strengthen our economy for the long term is investing in our education system and raising the skills of American workers. To succeed in the global economy, we need to modernize our schools, hire excellent teachers, and focus on the future. Support great public schools, and we can make the good life even better.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association. Aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rolling right along here during On the Block. We'll talk some NBA trade deadline here in just a sec. But we've got a couple more Super Bowl squares to give away. Again, 402-464-5685 is the number you need to text with the correct answer to one of these two questions. So Kobe Bryant is getting a statue unveiled tonight in front of the Crypto.com arena. Big deal. It is 2/8/24. That's why they decided to do it today. Of course, Kobe's two numbers being 8 and 24. So with Kobe's statue not being unveiled yet, it doesn't count. How many former NBA players have a statue at an NBA arena? First texter in with the correct number gets a Super Bowl square. How many former NBA players have a statue in front of a current NBA arena? It is not 8, it is not 34, it is not 3, and it is not 1. Stricky, you have a guess? Care to chime in? I'm going to give the answer away if you're right or not. What you got? You say it. You can say it.
6.
Stricky guesses 6. Okay, we have a winner. 74-32. 74-32. You are the winner. The answer is 12. The second question here, again, not counting Kobe's, whose will be unveiled tonight. The second Super Bowl Squares question, who is the most recent player to get a statue unveiled in front of an NBA arena? Who is the most recent player to get a statue unveiled in front of an NBA arena? That's the question. Stricky knows the answer. Stricky knows the answer to this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. And 86-42. You are the winner. Stricky, care to give the answer?
Dirk Nowitzki.
It was indeed.
Jordan was a long time ago. That was like
the most recent.
Early 2000s? No, not. I mean, Like 2000 what? Yeah. Jordan's had to be, and I think I went to a game when Jordan's statue was out there. That was like, I mean, literally like way back. Yeah. I was still playing when he had a statue. Okay, let me speak.
So yeah, 8642. Please send in your name. We'll get you put down
Mississippi
for
Mud
Super Bowl
Dog.
Square.
Dirk has one, and Dirk has a freaking street name in Dallas.
He also has a statue in Frankfurt.
Oh yeah.
Shocker. I know. Let's go through the list of players with statues. Kobe will be number 13 tonight. Dirk was player number 12. There it is again, Stricky. Pop back up.
Sheesh.
So we'll go in order here. So you were right. You named it. The first one was MJ in Chicago, the United Center. George Mikan.
Mikan got one. Bird's got one, right?
Not in Boston.
No.
It's at Indiana State.
You've got to be kidding.
I am not kidding.
Okay.
After Mikan, it was the Magic Man, as Jay would say, Magic Johnson. Or Irv has one. Wilt Chamberlain in Philly. You have John Stockton in Utah.
I did not know that. Okay.
The Stockton in Utah. Malone.
They went, two statues?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You have the logo.
Jerry West. They got him for L.A.?
For L.A., yep.
Huh.
Kareem.
Okay. I can understand that.
Dominique.
D. Wilk down in Atlanta?
In Atlanta, yeah.
Wow. Okay, Dominique. I see you.
Shaq.
I knew Shaq had one. He got one banging like when like his dunk man shoes or something.
Tearing down the rim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The last statue before Dirk Nowitzki, do you have any guess on who it was?
Tim Duncan.
It was not Tim Duncan. It is a Western Conference player.
What era?
Would have been he played between in the 1950s through the 1970s.
Not Dave Bing.
It's not Dave Bing.
Dang, I don't know.
Elgin Baylor.
Dang it. That was in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Elgin Baylor. Okay.
So people are coming at me here saying the numbers are wrong. They are not wrong. Okay. I got the article. Craig, you and I are looking at the same article here, my man. More statues. In addition to statues at NBA arenas, first of all, there are currently 12. Kobe is number 13. Did the math multiple times. Bill Russell has a statue at Boston City Hall Plaza, not at TD Garden. 76ers practice facility has statues of Dr. J.
Mo Cheeks.
Unfortunately, no. Round Mound or Rebound.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Daryl Dawkins.
Not Daryl.
Oh, they got Chuck?
They got Chuck.
Okay. Philly? Okay.
Answer.
AI.
And Moses.
Hey, listen. Moses Malone was a beast. Yeah, like, y'all didn't get to see Moses was a beast. In his prime, like, there's a couple guys in their prime that would have been that were a major problem. And Moses was one of them, but Sabonis was another one.
Artemis.
Like, I would have loved to have Sabonis over here in his prime. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he was phenomenal.
Other players with statues at their universities, Larry Bird at Indiana State. Magic also has one at Michigan State. Logo and Hot Rod Hundley at West Virginia. Bob Pettit, Pete Maravich, and Shaq all have statues at LSU.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's dope.
Chuck has one at Auburn. And George Gervin has a statue, not in San Antonio, but where did he go to college?
The Iceman.
How about this? First person in with the answer for where George Gervin went to college gets Super Bowl square. Any guesses?
Ooh.
George Gervin College for Super Bowl square, for anyone interested.
Was it in Texas?
It was not in Texas.
Then it was in Cali.
It was also not in Cali.
Dang it. St. Joseph's.
Closer-ish.
Xavier.
Not Xavier. Again, still looking for the answer for where George Gervin attended college.
There's some Googling going on like a mug right now, boy. The Google machine is in fuego.
En fuego. Indeed. It's out there. Let's see here. We have 3464 is in with the correct answer. 3464, send us your name. Eastern Michigan.
I had no clue.
How about that?
Yeah. I don't even know what I bet Rico would know what their logo is.
It's a green E. It's literally just a green E.
Are you freaking serious?
Stricky, look it up right now. You have your computer out. It is a green E.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Eastern Michigan logo. No way, bro. It's a green
E.
eagle, though.
That's their mascot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's an E. It's just a big green E. That's hilarious. Okay, we're good.
I want to ask you this question too, Strick, as we're on the topic of NBA players with statues in front of arenas. Who are the no doubt icons in NBA history? Like, no doubt, deserve a statue icons.
Wilt Chamberlain, maybe George Mikan. Obviously MJ. Bill Russell. Kareem. I think Olajuwon too. I think he should be.
Houston doesn't have any statues.
Yeah,
Get one up of the dream.
I think the dream. And you know what? I think New York has a couple people that they can throw out there, but I think Pat Ewing should have one. I think just give him some because he wasn't able to get a ring. He just happened to be in the wrong era as far as in the wrong conference, wrong era with Michael Jordan. I think Reggie Miller should have one.
Ooh, in Indiana. Coach Ballins, if Lincoln Lutheran, if you're listening, does Reggie Miller deserve a statue?
I think Reggie Miller. I personally think Reggie Miller.
Oscar Robertson out in Sacramento.
I think Oscar Robertson. I would say wasn't Big O in Milwaukee too though?
I think so.
I think Big O in Milwaukee.
Okay,
that
works for
Big
me.
O.
Works for me.
I like that. Do you think Dave Bing maybe?
I'm not sold.
Yeah,
I get it, but
and you know
I
what?
don't.
I think the Admiral.
Oh yeah,
I think David Rock because he was just so unique. He was so special. But yeah.
We are going to break in to Las Vegas. We got Jake Sorensen and Jay Foreman standing by. Fellas, long time no chat. Take it away.
All right. Thanks. Mute that one over there, Jay. We are live here in Las Vegas on Radio Row. Jake Sorensen, Jay Foreman here. And we have a very special guest, Orange Cassidy.
You got to get that belt in there,
look at this right here. Get this belt in there there. Look
turn
at
your
that
camera.
There it is right there. There it is.
This is my AEW International Championship, and I punched a lot of people in the face to keep this. I carry it to the ring in my backpack because it is very heavy.
So are those belts? That's real gold?
Hey, you can try it. Hold it.
That thing is heavy.
Just don't.
Yeah, I gotta put that on too, man.
They want to try this, feel it out.
Look at, oh my God, it's like
Jake, your arms are getting.
Yeah, this is a big good
bigger.
workout right here, man. Be a good workout. That is, it's a hell of a good looking thing there. So, all right, so Orange, you are in town this weekend. What tell us about AEW and your event coming up on Saturday?
Yes, so we decided to do a professional wrestling show before one of the biggest days of the year.
Right.
Right outside, right here in Vegas. And it's going to be AEW Collision, which will air on TNT at 8 p.m. on the East Coast.
Right.
It'll be from 8 to 10. And I am here because I decided to do something dumb and defend my international championship against Tomohiro Ishii. And if you don't know who that is, they call him the Stone Pitbull in Japan.
Right.
Because he will headbutt my chest in, headbutt my skull in.
Oh, boy.
And I still don't know why I accepted it. But here we are. Right. I figure, might as well before the big game get thrown around by a Japanese legend. So here we are.
But you're going to be the throwing around, man. You never back down from a fight, right?
Yeah, I don't really throw. I do more of the lure you in and then punch you in the face very hard.
Right.
You know?
So you're a counter puncher then.
I
right?
am.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Counterpunch is the perfect word for that.
So how long have you been in the business?
I've been professionally wrestling for over 18 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And I know that because every day I wake up and my back is sore and I don't remember things.
Right.
You know how it is.
Yeah, man. But it's still, I think people always talk about dog years. You got professional sports years is a little bit more taxing on the body, man. But I wanted to ask you about the wrestling business, right? And everybody sees the production on, in this case, Saturday.
Yep.
And actually in your case, just last night, you know, where they don't understand the grind that you guys do on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes even going to 2 cities, sometimes within 24 hours. Talk about that as much as you can, because I think people would appreciate what you're willing to do and able to do this come Saturday night.
Yeah, and if you don't like traveling, then you will not like being a professional wrestler.
Right.
I do like traveling, and it can be exhausting, and it takes a lot out of you, just that alone on the travel. But I also can't describe the feeling of when you come out in front of however many thousands of people,
right?
And there to go, like there is that really drives you, that makes that bumpy plane ride not seem so bad, because you know there is that at the end of the tunnel of relating to fans,
right?
And I think professional wrestling offers something that most forms of entertainment doesn't.
Right.
Like you can't go see a Marvel movie and then start yelling at the screen for Iron Man to start punching harder, and then Iron Man will.
Yeah.
If you go to a professional wrestling show, if you yell at me, I'll do better.
Right.
Because you're yelling at me and I can feel that. And I think that's something that people don't really fully grasp with professional wrestling. It is unlike anything else. So like going from town to town, yes, it can be tiring, but the fans are what makes it worth it. And being in AEW, we're actually pretty lucky that our schedule isn't as taxing as it was probably when you're thinking of like the 70s and the 80s with Ric Flair. They're going town to town to town to town to town.
Right.
They were. But I think we're also wrestling at a way different level than that. We're fortunate too because we have a show Wednesday night, show Friday night, a show Saturday night.
Wow.
And then it's travel, and then there might be a pay-per-view on Sunday.
Right.
I stay busy and I make sure I sleep.
Right. Talk about that. People don't understand. I always talk to my partner over here, Jake, about, I played football, but I always talk about the walk out, in my case, to the stadium, and as you get closer, the goosebumps, the body, the adrenaline, the focus, until you've been there, you don't know. Talk about it for you, because I know, even whether it's the travel or not, once you kind of put your stuff on and you get that, I guess, I don't know if they give you a 2-minute mark or whatever before you're supposed to hit the stage.
Right.
Once you get right before that curtain, it's on. Talk about that feeling, because I think it's something that is pretty unique.
For you, what was your walkout? Like you probably had a song that you loved, right? To like that you came out of the tunnel or whatever it is. Like professional wrestling is no different than that. Like I picked the song I come out to, which is Jane by Jefferson Starship, which is a real song.
All right.
And that's what AEW
Taking us back a little bit.
Yeah. So AEW is different than that. We actually have real music that will play. And then there's also other stuff that's made. But like that song for some reason gets me going. And I wear a denim jacket and Ray-Bans because I just feel like I'm in the zone, right? That's like what it makes me feel better, makes me perform better. And because you do feel that nervousness, maybe goosebumps, stuff like things like that are consistent helps you focus and get ready. Like, okay, I hear Jane, which I hope everybody goes and listens to the song Jane. You're
I'm
going to
going,
be like,
I know. Yeah, so we're good. I'm gonna check it out.
You're going to be like,
check it
you're
out.
going to be like, he walks out to this,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
pumped
yes.
up.
And before that, I came out to "Where Is My Mind" from the Pixies. So you can look at all those and then say like, what? But that gets me ready. So yeah, it is. And I don't think unless you've done it,
right,
you don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean,
so walk us back. He's 18 years you've been fighting for, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, where do you hail from? Where did you start? Where were you born at? Where were you raised at?
I don't like to say I'm from anywhere because I've been everywhere. So like when they say like, oh, Orange Cassidy hailing from, they just say wherever.
Okay.
Right.
Because that's where I'm from.
Right.
But I really did start to travel a lot on the East Coast.
Okay.
And I did a lot of stuff in Philadelphia, New York, Jersey City, all the way up to Boston, Rochester. I did it all up and down. It's a lot of traveling.
Where did the love? I mean, because to do what you do, you gotta love it. You just can't just kind of. I always say you just can't stick your toe in the cold water. You got to jump head first. And where did the love come from? Because I think that's also a unique story as well.
Yeah, growing up, you watched it, and I went to some live events, and I just felt that thing, that connection, like that I was affecting the show, and it just stuck with me. And then you get older, and it still sticks with you. And you get a little older, and then you start watching other promotions, and you think to yourself, I could probably do that. So you go in the backyard with your friends, you start beating each other up, and then 20 years later, you're still doing it. So it's just the connection that I had, and the feeling of performing in front of all those people and doing the art that I want to do is the thing that keeps me coming back.
Have you ever had a chance to, I guess, wrestle or have a huge match against somebody that maybe you grew up, wouldn't say idolizing, but watching and say, man, I might take that from what he's doing?
I have been very fortunate to wrestle a lot of people that I never even thought I would be in the same room with, let alone professional wrestling ring with. And for example, I didn't think I would be wrestling Jeff Jarrett for this championship in Canada for a Shazam Fury of the Gods 2. Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods match. It's just one of those things I don't really think about. I just think, well, what's next? I stood and stared Jake the Snake Roberts in his face and gave someone a DDT.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
but I can. Yeah. So I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm very, very grateful to have those people. Like Sting.
Yeah.
Sting is one of those guys I never thought I'd be, that he would be doing what I do. And so yeah.
AEW, man, because I grew up with the whole, was it NWA and way back in the day.
Yeah.
But AEW has taken off, and in my opinion, the last 5 years, and from my calculation, probably even longer. What is allowed it to really just punch a hole in the marketplace, and it's not just it's a weekend thing or like a big match. It's here to stay. You're getting household names. What is it about AEW? What you guys do that makes it so appealing to the masses?
I mean, I'm going to make this about me, but I'm just going to do it. But you mentioned NWA,
right?
And
I'm dating myself.
No, you're not, because the owner, Tony Khan, I'm sure you know who that is. He loves all wrestling. He loves he watched all that growing up and everything. So he likes all different types of wrestling.
Right.
I am an example of why AEW is different than what else you see, is because I would not exist in any other promotion.
Right.
They wouldn't let me do what I do. Like, I put my hands in my pockets and I beat people up.
Right.
Like, I don't.
Hey man, that's cool.
Right. Yeah. And but that's the thing, right? I don't think I would even be able to show that in other places, because they'd be like, "Oh, that's stupid.
Right.
We only do things one way."
Right.
And I think here at AEW, like, you're going to see a technical wrestling match, then you're going to see a guy take a fork out and stab another person in the skull.
There it is.
And then you're going to see a guy put his hands in his pockets and drop kick somebody.
Right.
You're going to see luchadors flying around the ring. I think that's what separates AEW.
Right.
I think it's like you come to a show, you're going to see all different types of wrestling, just not jacked up, beefy men,
right,
So I'm very, very grateful.
How often is somebody getting stabbed in the head by a fork?
I've been
I gotta know.
Well,
You're scared, my man. You're scared, my man.
I'm going to tell you this. We had a show called All In this past, I think it was end of August, at Wembley Stadium in England, in London, England. We had close to 80,000 people watching us wrestle. And I stood in the ring and I put my hands in my pockets and I drop kicked John Moxley. And then I leapt to my feet. And then when I turned around, John Moxley stabbed me in the head with a fork. And I still have the scar on my head in front of 80,000 people in the biggest wrestling show ever.
Right.
So it happens a lot.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I mean, listen.
You can go look it up. I'm not
sure
making it up. I promise.
If I saw that live, I'm not even sure how I'd respond.
Yeah, my man he does not like any blood.
And that's not even the worst thing that happens. So.
Yeah. Well, again, tell us, where's the match? What time? Saturday night?
Yeah. So this Saturday night, we're gonna be in Henderson. It's right down the road over there.
Yep.
You can go to AEWTix.com to get some tickets because they still got some. You're going to see a great show. That Tony brought in some. I mean, he brought me in, so you should probably go see me.
Right.
Try not to get beat up by a Japanese legend. Right. And there's also you can also catch us on Dynamite on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on TBS, and then there's also Rampage on 10 p.m. on TNT on Fridays, and Sting is having his last match ever. On March 3rd for a pay-per-view called Revolution that you can find at AEW to see that. So it's Sting, you know. You got to watch Sting.
Yeah, we got a lot of listeners that are wrestling fans.
They are.
So
great.
Yeah, and we got some that are right here in Las Vegas.
Well, if they're wrestling fans and they know who I am, they probably were thinking to themselves, wow, that's the most Orange Cassidy ever said in his entire life. So you guys brought it out.
We'll take that as a compliment, man. We appreciate you coming on. Appreciate what you do, because I know it's a lot of travel and tough stuff, but that's why you're the champ, man. Hey. And I will tell people that belt is real.
That's heavy, man.
Yeah,
that's heavy. That's real stuff.
Yeah. So with that being said, Jake Foreman, Jake Orange, we'll go to break. We'll be right back.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting increasing cloud cover throughout the day. It will be breezy too. We'll see a high around 57. Tonight, partly cloudy skies expected with a low around 31. And tomorrow, mostly sunny skies for most of the day. A slight chance of rain late with the high around 49. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Junior Achievement at Lincoln inspires and prepares today's young dreamers to be tomorrow's goal breakers, leaders, and things we haven't even imagined yet. Help more kids while having a great time at the JA Bowl-a-thon. Sign your team up and raise money to ensure the educational programs focused on financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship are always free to thousands of students. The JA Bowl-a-thon is February 16th and 17th at Parkway Lanes and Hollywood Bowl. Register at lincoln.ja.org.
February is National Pet Dental Health Month. At Parkview Animal Hospital, their skilled doctors and staff can help identify and treat a wide range of dental issues. If your pet is showing signs of bad breath, abnormal chewing or drooling, reduced appetite, or refusal to eat, now is a great time to speak to a member of their team and help get your pet back on track to a healthy lifestyle. Call Parkview Animal Hospital today at 402-423-6939 to learn more about their discounts on dental cleanings, procedures, and hygiene products.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Norman back in Lincoln, wrapping up on the block. Great show today. Big thanks to Stricky for all his insight. We went through a lot. We covered some of the most important players in the Super Bowl. We took a look at Nebraska at Northwestern. Stricky gave me the rundown on how to handle Las Vegas. Not sure I'll ever make it there, but if I do, I now have the game plan thanks to Stricky, and thanks to all of you on the text line at 402-464-5685. Gave away some Super Bowl squares today. You guys also gave me some tips on Vegas as well. I want to wrap up with something we didn't get to today. I'm sure we'll get to tomorrow, and that is the NBA trade deadline. It's coming past 2 o'clock Central Time here. Not a whole lot of big moves being made. The Warriors, the Lakers didn't make a splash. Clippers, Bucks might have had the biggest move of the day in trading for Patrick Beverley. All they gave up was Cam Payne and a second-round pick. Philly gets Buddy Hield out of Indiana. I'm sure Strick and I will go over those moves in a little more detail tomorrow. DeJounte Murray, not on the move. He's staying in Atlanta. Wonder what that means for that franchise, the direction that they want to go. A little bit of a Nebraska tie, though, to the trade deadline. Boston trades Delano Banton to the Portland Trail Blazers. In return, they get a protected second-round pick. So good for Delano, a little bit of a fresh start. Boston, obviously, trying to contend for the NBA Finals. Portland, very much not so. With Scoot Henderson, up and down between the G League and the pros and not playing all that well in Portland. I wonder if that means we see some more Delano Banton action out in the Pacific Northwest. Well, that'll do it for me. Don't go anywhere, though. Right after this break, we turn it right back over to Jay and Jake. I haven't had a rundown of who they got, but I know that they're walking around, shaking hands, kissing babies, all that good stuff. We'll see who those gents are able to get on during Old School. We'll be back with you tomorrow, 2 to 4, during On the Block. Don't forget to stay tuned into 93.7 The Ticket throughout the day for your chance to win Super Bowl squares, prize giveaways at our Super Bowl party, Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68th and O Street. That's where we'll be for the Super Bowl on Sunday. Hope you join us there. If you're not joining us there, make sure you get yourself down to Mary Ellen's, who sponsors our show. And a big thanks to all the sponsors who helped make the trip to Vegas possible. Tavern 180, Tanner's Roofing Service Company, and High Electric. That'll do it for me from Lincoln. Turning it over to Jay and Jake on the other side.